All right, guys, and welcome to the Shaggin Balls podcast. This is Jrob or Jordan. Your Cardinals fan here, joined by Kasey. There you go. Good talk, Kasey. Pete.
Yankees, Title 28, coming this year.
And then here's Braden making a guest appearance.
Go Yankees!
And then we also have...
Hello, Internet.
And then we're here. We're just here to talk about baseball, Shaggin Balls podcast. You can find us on YouTube. We're there. You can find us on Twitch. We stream all of our episodes on Monday nights. We're also on Twitter at Shaggin Balls PC. And then we're also on TikTok. We have a few videos up that we make or just clips from our stream. And then if you're just listening to the audio version, you can find us on Spotify and on Apple Music. We're on a couple other platforms, but those are the main two. And then just also for YouTube and Twitch, just Shaggin Balls. So we're glad you're here listening to us or watching us live on Twitch. Tonight, we're just here excited for the new season to start. Is that right, boys? Are we pretty excited for the season to get going?
Absolutely, 100%. Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks. We're ready. Opening day is the 23rd? So we got 10 days till opening day. Got 2 games that day. And we're counting down the days. But today, what we're going to talk about, just waiting for the season to start, what we got on the board is we're going to talk about some awards. They're not real awards. These are awards that we have thought up and what we think would be cool or interesting or just fun to add to the major leagues. Maybe serious, maybe not. We'll see as we get into it. We haven't shared those with each other yet. So we're just kind of going to introduce those to each other, what the award would be, kind of maybe the requirements or the specifics of it, and then talk about like who we think would win, and it could be a team or an individual award. We're going to get rolling in that. But first, right before that, we do want to make a quick shout out to the GOAT, the best catcher of all time, Yadier Molina. It is his birthday today. So Yadi, if you're watching this, because I know you are, love you. We appreciate you. And happy birthday. But,
shout out the second best Molina brother.
All right. Yadi, I do apologize for that. He'll be punished later. Anyways, Pete, because you're so excited to talk, do you want to start us off with your award idea?
Absolutely. So my idea originally was the best double switch player. But, this year baseball is a little different. There's no such thing as a pitcher hitting, so that's going to be used a whole lot less this year. So I changed it up, made a little slight adjustment to super utility. So per player that you can just plug into any position you need, anytime, like reliable all across the board. And it's just like, he's probably not an MVP type player usually, but like he's just such a valuable piece to a team because he can, if somebody goes down, he can go play any position at any time. And just like how helpful that is to a team. And who I'm going with is Ben Zobrist. Plays,
hate that decision, but what would be? So I mean, it's kind of like an MVP almost. Obviously, not to the same level to what the actual MVP is.
Yeah,
what the actual award is in the league, but like to me, that's honestly a lot of times an MVP to a team because every team for the most part needs a player that is going to fill in where you need. Like someone gets hurt, like you have an outfielder that gets hurt, and so they go fill in the outfield for a couple weeks while they're on the IL or their natural position is shortstop, whatever. So
absolutely.
I mean, yeah, again, I hate Ben Zobrist for personal reasons, but
interesting.
I do think that is a good choice. Don't say
Lolo.
it. Don't.
Lolo said, "Go Cubs."
Say it.
Lolo wanted me to tell you, "Go Cubs."
Kasey, what are your thoughts on that, or who's the player that comes to mind, and you think of that award if that was in?
LeMahieu, because he played a lot of different positions for the Yankees last year, and I think
start over. You cut out at first, Kasey. Did you say?
Oh, sorry. DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah, and then why? Go into that.
It's a great pick.
Just he played a lot for the Yankees last year when they were really hurt. He could play first base, second base. I think he played some third at some point too. Like he's just a good utility infielder. I think he hits for like a high average, decent power number. So I mean, that's a pretty. I'd say that's better than Ben Zobrist, but that's the first person that comes to my mind when like a utility player comes into play.
Jake, what are your thoughts?
DJ LeMahieu's the one I thought Pete was gonna say, and then Kasey said it, so I was a little thrown off by that. But I think
want to jinx him this year.
yeah, okay, that's fair. I think another player that comes to mind. I don't have like a high end player. Usually, like these high utility or good utility types, like usually find a home if they're good enough because they'll want them in the lineup every day. And DJ, I think, was a special case for last year. He was all over the diamond, but so the guy that I guess there's two that come to mind. One is from St. Louis that you had was Tommy Edman, I believe.
Yeah, I was just looking him up.
So if you want to talk more about him, you have more to talk about. But he was one guy, and then another guy in the same vein who maybe hasn't had as much success, but plays a similar role. It was Scott Kingery for the Phillies. But I think he might be like more so the starting third baseman going forward for them. So he might be less utility, but he was a player who played center field. He can play short, he can play second, he can play third. So he can play all over the diamond as well. And then maybe another higher end would be Ketel Marte. He plays center field, second base, and then you could put him in either corner outfield position or shortstop, but there's Nick Ahmed over there. So those are a few names that come to my mind for those.
Yeah, my first person I thought of right away was Tommy Edman for the St. Louis Cardinals. And just with him, he was a stud, and he was a rookie. Didn't come up till like halfway through the year. But and then with that, he had a 3.9 WAR, and he had a batting average of 304 with 11 home runs, 15 stolen bases, 36 RBIs. Like the kid's literally a stud. And he took place of like Matt Carpenter a lot of times, or Colton Wong was hurt sometimes, so he'd play some second base, or to give a day off, he'd replace Paul DeYoung, play in the outfield. Literally, he played almost like every position, minus pitcher and catcher last year. He was a stud. Like they literally would just try to throw him in the lineup because he was batting so well, but also like the defensive side of him as well is also a big positive. And so
does he have a home position for this year, or is he still like going to serve the utility role?
I don't know. Like, because we have so many young outfielders that are good. I think his natural position is either second or short.
Okay. Which
kind of sucks because we have Colton Wong at second, who just won the Gold Glove. You're not going to take his glove out of the lineup. His batting's pretty decent, and you have Paul DeYoung, who has good power. So ideally, with our lineup right now, I'd put him at third. Like, I would honestly bench Carpenter because the last 2 years have not been great for him. He's a defensive liability, especially at third base. And I don't know, Tommy Edman's he's quick. He's got some good power, not amazing, but he's got putting up the same power numbers as Carpenter, who is underperforming, but he's like got better WAR, better batting average. And so I think he'd be best at third for us and just with our lineup right now. But I think just with Carpenter, because he's making a lot more and just because he has performed better, he'll probably start.
It's got to be the money. You guys are paying him $18.5 million. Carpenter's probably going to get like all the chances in the world to play there.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money for the next 3 years. So he's going to get all the chances he can to perform, to potentially trade him or something. But it's nice to have him, Tommy, because he can fill in wherever there potentially is an injury or give a guy a rest day. You can fit it in.
And so he's good, and he'll. I mean, that's the plus side of it. Yeah, it's just he'll fit in where we need him to. But yeah, I mean, DJ LeMahieu last year was really good, and then also Ben Zobrist, and then I like the names you picked as well, Jake. But I think it's the award itself. I feel like, Pete, how would you judge that? Like, how do you determine who wins? Like, what are the requirements with that, or like?
It's kind of like the sixth man, huh?
It's similar to the sixth man a lot. I would say you got to play at least 3 different positions for at least I mean, obviously not this year's different, but
Yeah.
in a regular season, I would say at least 3 different positions, 20 games. Like
games of position.
Yeah. You have to make 20 appearances at 3 different positions to be eligible for it. And then you just it's basically the best player of that group. So it's like Jake said, it's really similar to the 6-man award in basketball. So it's you're rewarding
It's
people
essentially
that aren't necessarily
it's
highlighted
an
all the time.
MVP, but it's just
Of utility.
requirements to be qualified in this. Yeah, is you have to be in 3 different positions of 20.
Yeah.
I feel like this award would go to a lot of rookies, like Tommy Edelman's a great example. I think they're just trying to fit a rookie in because there's a lot of established players out there. Like Zobrist is a very weird person because he did play all over the diamond so late in his career. I feel like there's a lot of young players that would win this award.
It definitely would be. And it's also LeMahieu last year was so valuable to the Yankees because they had so many injuries, so he'd just go plug in wherever he needed to.
He was so good.
He was so good. And this year I think he'll be a little more consistent in his position, so I think it'll be a little bit different. Hopefully this year with, less injuries and the lineup staying.
Yeah, with Didi being gone and Torres not he's short there's penciled in position for LeMahieu this year. Last year there wasn't.
Should be pretty locked down, and obviously you're gonna keep his bat in the lineup every day, so it's super crucial. So it could also be a player just last year LeMahieu, would have won that award. I would say for sure.
Yeah.
But so that could be players aren't gonna because in just basketball, sometimes you're the 6th man, you go to a new team, new role or whatever, and you're starting, and you're gonna be ineligible for it. So it's kind of like that. So it's just bringing more attention and rewards to players like that rather than just a straight up MVP, but just meaning some requirements to it. Then you could have Mike Trout just go play first base for 20 games or whatever, just so he can get even more awards to add to his Hall of Fame. But
I like that one.
But yeah, that's my idea. What do you think about it, Kasey?
Would you count?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, would you count DH as a position? Obviously, it's not a position on the field, but if they had games where they're just DH, no.
Just on the field.
Yeah, on the field.
Not not in the batting, because I don't think that I would not count DH as a position in my criteria for it.
Yeah.
I think one player that came to my mind too was Kike Hernandez for the Dodgers. He's always playing any outfield position they need him to. He plays some infield, middle infield as well. So that's another player that came to my mind.
Yeah, he's good.
That's the thing I couldn't think about decide because outfield, obviously there's differences in the positions, but I don't think if you play 3 different outfield positions, I don't think you should make it eligible. If I was making it, but then it's I don't want to. You have to require to play. If you play 3 different infield positions,
I feel so
that's what
each,
I don't know.
Each infield or each outfield position has its own set of challenges too, because
it definitely
corner
does,
outfields in weird parks in Fenway or Yankee Stadium, you gotta account for the shorter outfields and the weird bounces, especially with ballparks that have the foul territory that kind of cuts into the playing field. It could definitely ricochet weird. And in center field, you kind of have to man the outfield. So I think being able to play all 3 and be successful in all 3 shows arm strength, just knowledge of the game and understanding each position differently. And on top of that, being able to play middle infield and understanding your infield signs and coverages. And so I think it shows more than just physical skill. It shows baseball IQ as well.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I kind of see where Pete, if they did decide, or we did decide to do it that way, where outfield was the same, I could see where they're coming from. If I had to pick, I'd make it all left field is different than right field, obviously, and then center field. Because there's a reason you put your best fielder in center field is because it's, or at least your quickest, or there's certain criteria for that position. Whereas an older, maybe slower player is going to play one of the corners just typically because there's not as much ground to cover. And there's other aspects as well that go into it. I definitely think they're obviously different positions. Side note, one thing I thought of, Kasey, when you brought up center field, worst mistake a team or an organization has made in regards to their stadium is the Astros. taking out that hill in center
Taking out
field.
that
Worst
hill.
decision ever. Dude, that was, I think, I'll say that was
Worst
the coolest
decision.
thing ever.
Dude, that was so wild watching that.
Amendments, dude,
I thought it was-
making some catches on that hill. Like,
yeah.
that's side note. But
I thought, well, going along with the hill, because I thought it's funny. I don't think I had any problem with the hill. I just thought it was dumb how deep it was, and that they included like this freaking pole on the field too.
Yeah,
Like that didn't make any sense to me. The hill itself, whatever, but that you went like 430 plus, and they're like, yeah, we'll just put this fat pole right here too. Like I just didn't.
Yeah.
That part baffled me.
That was
just how
weird.
short left field is and everything. Yeah, that's a weird ballpark. Anyways, yeah, anybody else got any more comments or thoughts on that one? On Pete's? Pete, what would you name it? That's important. What would the award be called?
Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, so I was trying to come up with something like that, but I don't know. I didn't get that far in my planning. What do you guys
just not
think? What
cool
are your
enough. I get
suggestions?
it.
Pete will give us a name next episode. He's a little tired right now.
Next episode, I'll be refreshed.
Yeah, like
Or
I'll be
give
off
it to us
vacation.
later.
I'll be
Swiss-
so ready to go. Or actually, whenever J-Rob's talking, I'll just think I'll come up with that. Give him plenty of time, tune him out, and just go ahead and think of something.
appreciate it. To the cat. Hey, what is your
actually-
award?
Oh, never mind.
Okay, never mind. Oh wait, you're gonna go with it.
Go ahead.
My award is called the maybe not. So
Sorry. One more time.
maybe not.
Maybe.
It's the maybe not award. So it's not like it's not recognizing the a great performance. It's actually the opposite. So it's like the anti comeback player of the year award. It's a player who's like had like potentially maybe their career year or an above average year for their resume or like the back of their baseball card, and then that next year they fall off or they fall back to their normal, where everyone's like hyping them up to be this player from like now forward, and then they're actually not, and they're just like an average player or below average player.
I think you two players.
Huh?
You continue.
So yeah, that's my award, I guess, or medal that we'll give out to people. I think one person, there's plenty of examples, but like you could even apply this to maybe, I think I had another idea. I don't want to say it just in case it's somebody else's idea. But you could say like Eric Hosmer, he had like his career year with the Royals and his walk year, and then he signs with the Padres, and he's been below average. So that I would classify that as a maybe not.
Maybe not.
You know who absolutely popped into my mind when you said that?
Who?
He was traded from Kasey's team to my team after an absolutely killer year where he looked like he could be one of the best pitchers in baseball. Young Michael Pineda, who looked, hey, let me tell you, I thought we were getting a stud, pumped, top of the rotation kind of guy. And let me tell you,
You got a dud.
we got a maybe,
stud,
we got a
dud.
maybe not, we got a maybe not over here. So luckily, who we traded away from ended up
Much
being
either
any
for
good.
us.
Yeah, it was a maybe not for a maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, our guy didn't even have a great season, so
Yeah, there's hype.
It was more on hype potential for him. But yeah, Michael Pineda, just like the second you said that, I was like, that's my guy. My guy, Pine Tar Pineda. Yeah.
I love that happened, and like the umpire had to take his like glove off because he touches it. He's like, "Yeah, you're gone."
Yeah. What a guy! What a maybe not player right there. That's perfect. That's
So
a great award.
those are just like two examples. Who do you think is a maybe not for potentially 2020 or going forward 2021 even? I don't know who you want to kick it to. So I think there's a lot of candidates out there. So I don't know if you guys have a current player.
Who I thought of, and these aren't current real quick. I'll go past and then current.
Yeah.
Two players I thought of right away. One, we were just talking about him, Chris Carpenter. Maybe not so drastically one year from the next, but just like he was doing really well, and then honestly, it's just been like a deep. I don't know if he'd win the award, but he would be in that conversation. If that makes, he'd make the top 10 or top 5 probably.
Okay.
Also, Chris Davis.
Yeah.
From and that's obviously a few years ago, but I don't know. Coming up,
Albert Pujols is one.
Yeah. And true, very true as well. Yeah, like going to the Angels. I don't know how steep of a drop off he was in 2012, like his first year with the Angels.
He was productive with the Angels. He got it was more injuries than
yeah, falling off. I don't know.
The person I could see this year actually doing it, and I still think he'll be solid, but I could see Pete Alonso having a miss of a year, especially with how great he was last year and all the hype and the Mets,
Yeah.
He's their guy, and I could see him having a disappointing year.
But
people like,
yeah, because they're gonna hold him to that,
yeah,
what he did that year, that's where he should be, be that productive, and
yeah, and that's an Aaron Judge type too, because Aaron Judge has been good since his rookie year, but he hasn't, and it's been more injuries than production wise.
Yeah.
But he hasn't lived up, and I could see Pete Alonso too being a little disappointing in that way, where he's not out here just murdering the ball and just
what did he hit? 52 bombs.
52 last year.
And I wonder if the shortened season's just gonna mask, because people aren't gonna be able to point to counting numbers again and be oh, he didn't hit 50, so he didn't have that great of a season. So I don't know how that will do for the 2020, because his first half he was over 1,000 OPS, and then his second half was his slump. But he was 860, which is still above average from regular. So he's productive either way. He slugs the ball. So yeah, that's a good one.
I want 2021. I feel if he hits, he has to hit at least in the 40s, 40 home runs minimum, or not necessarily a bust. But
if he goes out and hits 32, 32 is pretty solid home run numbers, but. People are going to be what happened
50, to that's 20 off.
Exactly. So, I could see that being a maybe not candidate.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I think another rookie candidate is potentially Tatis. I think there's a lot of hype there. He had an extremely high BABIP. It was 410. And I think that number will drop. And he is a little bit of a maybe not on the offensive, average side of things. I think I'm hoping power and, defense show a bit more this year, but as far as just batting average alone, I think he was 320 or 330. I don't expect it to be over 300 again, so I think that's maybe not.
What about Vlad?
Well, he didn't really do anything, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if
he had a good enough season to to qualify as he had a couple highlights, but I don't think it was overall season.
Because of the hype behind him.
You know what is a maybe not from Vlad's perspective is saying, oh yeah, he's going to be a third baseman, and then it comes out in the last week hey, we're going to put you at first because you're the worst defensive third baseman last year. So third base, maybe not.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting to compare Vlad and Alonso now that they're both first basemen going forward.
Yeah.
Casey, who you got?
Well, my pass is name any Seattle Mariners player.
Sean Figgins.
In our history. Yeah. What a waste.
What a guy.
Who was your guy 4 or 5 years ago? I think first, was it Smoke? Is Smoke on?
Smoke was a maybe not. Yeah, there was hype.
Yeah. Smoke was a freaking.
Who else? Gosh.
Adrian Beltre. He was super hype when you guys got him. He had 40 bombs with the Dodgers, came over. Maybe not.
Remember the D. Gordon center field experiment? That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, jeez.
You got
a great
my team. We're something else. Lovable M. Anyway, maybe not this year. I don't know. It just might just be me because I don't necessarily love this guy, but I think it's there's so much hype around Gene Segura but I feel like he always finds a way to be in a starting lineup, but he doesn't do much. And like the only reason he makes all-star games is because he's a little bit above average on a really like below average team. If that makes sense. Because there's a lot of these guys, I just can't really think like, I mean, you touched on like Chris Davis and like all the obvious choices, but I just couldn't think of like, who's that one guy that just kind of like underwhelms, but like performs just good enough to not be like bashed on, you know?
I had
to grab off my head.
That's pretty good. My player when I thought of this award was Tim Anderson, but I won't bash him anymore. But that's my maybe not.
You better not.
What star though?
Leave Timmy alone.
Who do you think like is a star? Maybe there's like who from the Astros team is a maybe not? Who would you put your like? You got Springer, Bregman, Correa, Altuve.
I would say Correa.
Correa's the maybe not.
Yeah. I think Correa talks a lot for how not great he is. Like he's a good player on that team, but I think you put him on like another team, like the Pirates or like the Rockies. Oh, maybe the Rockies, of course, but like the Giants, like he is very underwhelming, in my opinion. Like he has so much. Like it's just the same thing with like protection in the lineup. Like there's that lineup was so deep and it's so like good. Like you have Jordan, JJ Redick, Altuve, Springer, Correa, Maldonado. Like you have so much protection in that lineup. You have to pitch to literally everyone. But like there's just no one that protects him on any other lineup, and I think people expose him for that because like he's a good fastball hitter. Like he's a good player. Like I'm not trying to like say he's like a trash player by any means, but I think he's way hype. I think that whole like team is just they work well together because they have buzzers and trash cans. But I mean, that's my 2 cents on the Astros.
I feel like this award, I mean, as in any award, but I feel like there's almost two factors to this award that make it harder to judge like who would win compared to another award. Because not only do you have to like almost have a breakout year, but then the year you win the award, you have to have a sucky year, like underperform very much. But like, so you can't just underperform in a year. I guess you can, but
it's kind of a 2-year award.
Underperforming.
Yeah. It's like a high output and then like so like someone who maybe just got lucky with BABIP or some like expected stuff. Like I have the baseball savant side, which is the StatCast stuff, and they like to measure out like based off of like the hit results, so like exit velocity, launch angle, and stuff like that. They'll come up with a number that's your expected batting average, and then they'll come up with a difference with that. And so like the highest person who had like the luckiest was Fernando Tatis. He was like 0.058 higher than what he was expected to do. He was expected to hit 259, but he actually hit 317. And then so there's like Arenado. He was expected to hit 272, but he hit 315. And so there's just like there's stats like that. So I think it would be somebody who would like lucked out, and then they would maybe regress to more of the norm or get slightly unluckier, and then it shows like their counting stats. It's like, ooh, what happened to him? It's like, well, not much. It's just the ball didn't bounce his way, in particular this year.
It was the opposite end, like number one,
unluckiest.
Like the
unluckiest. Yeah. It was a Cardinal. It's Marcell Ozuna. He hit 241 and he should have hit 288 as far as just batting average. And his slugging was 472. It should have been 548. Like he was unlucky last year.
Hit the ball so hard.
Yeah.
For your award, Jake, and anyone can answer this, because I was trying to think who is a pitcher
that would
you guys could see this year, next year, or whatever, when that we could see just disappointing. Because I was trying to think, and I can't.
I have this ready.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole.
I knew you would say that, you son of a bitch. Everything good I said about you at the beginning of this podcast / stream, I take back. Take it all back.
Jeff Samardzij's one.
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think Cole is going to be bad because I think the AL East is pretty bottom tier, or one of the least divisions that are competitive. But I mean, for me, I honestly think it would be Ohtani. I don't think he shows up as a pitcher. I think it's exciting what he's doing.
I don't think he can win the award, though. I don't think he has done enough as a pitcher.
Because he hasn't had a good enough, thing. But I could see it.
I get your point, though.
Yeah. There's the hype. Well, we talked a lot about hype. Yeah.
That's true.
Mike Soroka might be a player. Just looking at like expected slugging against him, and he was more on the luckier end of the spectrum. Had a good rookie year. Everyone's had an offseason to study his stuff, what he likes to do when he starts. So maybe he has not as great as a sophomore campaign from the Braves, Mike Soroka.
I hate to say this, and like knock on wood, wherever there is some.
You can say Jack.
Yeah, Jack Flaherty. I wonder.
He was lucky.
Like a half a season too.
He was luckier.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Yeah, like he didn't have a great first start. He had a killer second half. Like had the best. I don't know if his WHIP or ERA in the second half, whatever. Maybe both are like top 3 for sure. All starting pitchers, but he's also very young. He doesn't have, but experience plays into it. But just a lot of hitters haven't seen him very much. Obviously, the more you get into it, like
scout and stuff,
yeah, like he's just going to be scouted more, especially now that he has like better. I mean, I can still see him maybe doing good this year because it's such a shortened season. Like you're not going to get a lot off of him, especially playing a decent amount of games versus like interleague side or whatever. But maybe come like 2021, like I could see maybe then going to drop off somewhat. Maybe you get a glimpse of it this year, but I don't know. I think this year and then going into 2021, if he's still dominant, maybe not to that high, but if he's still dominant 2021, I think he'll be that pretty much his career for the most part. But I don't know. Honestly, I could see that one. I regret saying it and hope obviously it's not true, but it's too small of a sample size to say for sure if he's going to be that good.
Yeah, looking at his numbers quickly, he was a bit lucky, but even his expected numbers were still good. He was just better than good because of a little bit of luck, but still his numbers are really, really good overall. So I wouldn't worry too much about it.
And also I think a big part of that, like if he pitched that or was like doing that pitching in 2018, the Cardinals had like the worst defense in 2018. And then come 2019, we had the best defense. Like, and literally the biggest change or the only main change was putting Paul Goldschmidt at first base. So like we had like I think the least amount of errors or like the error differential from 2018 to 2019 was huge. So maybe that was the best or whatever. I don't know for sure, but that could play a big part. Like obviously you have Colton Wong who's really good at second base, but Paul Goldschmidt, the Gold Glove first baseman, and then depending on who's playing third base, can be ass or great. But and then DeYoung's not bad at short.
Yeah.
I know that one came to my mind, Jack.
Cool. I think that's enough on that one.
Kasey, what do you got for us? Of Tinder.
What do I have? I'm not on Tinder. Looking up Tim Anderson highlights.
Kasey does swipe right on Tinder and shows us his matches live.
I do. I'll start doing that if I'm on Tinder, but I'm not on Tinder. I'm looking up my man Tim Anderson's bat flips. Why? Because my award is the bat flip award, and Tim Anderson's bringing that hardware home every year. Man,
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up that kid. This kid who was it?
My man hits haters. My man just hits absolute piss missiles, nukes, bombs, taters, tots, whatever you want. Hits him in the stands and then throws that bat. Yells at you, hops around, does a couple low-key flexes in your face. Your pitcher's like, man, I just gave a bomb to that man who's just flexing all over me. Man, I must be shit. Then walk up, and with Encarnacion, bam, bomb. Your pitcher's rattled. Jack Flaherty's rattled. Jack Flaherty is pissing his pants when Tim Anderson walks that plate. You know why? Because he knows he's about to take him yard, and he's gonna flip that bat, and he's gonna look at him, and Jack Flaherty's gonna look like a freaking douche, like an idiot, piss his pants on the mound because he's scared of Tim Anderson. Don't at me,
Kasey. I'm gonna at you real quick. There's not gonna be.
Hey, you just said don't at him. You literally just said don't at him.
He blocked you. He just blocked you.
Yeah,
I got her blocked you on Twitter.
Wonder
I gotta
what
block you on
played.
Shaggin Balls too. I gotta block on our both Twitter
Holy
accounts.
smokes! That list of
I have access
home
to that account
run
as well.
That was
Luke's taters.
nice. Piss missiles. I don't know if I've heard that one before.
That was awesome.
That was amazing.
What?
That was dope.
Okay, Kasey, question for you.
Nothing you could say can change my mind at this point. Why? Because Tim Anderson's taking that award home every
Hey,
year.
what is
There's
is
literally
the
no one
award
better in the
named?
game. No,
I'm not
No,
trying to
the award
argue.
named after
literally
him,
Tim
or
Anderson's
what?
bat flip award.
I'm trying to get
They're gonna name it Tim Anderson's bat flip award.
Okay.
I'm trying to get
Yeah.
specifications on what the award entails. Because you said bat
If your
flip,
name is Tim
and then he starts
Anderson and you
flexing
put
on
the bat,
them, and then he starts doing all
swagger.
this, like at what point does it start with, like, after you hit the ball, what you do with the bat to when you reach first base, like all in between?
So,
is
okay,
what I'm after.
it's a complex. No, it's complex. Okay, so I'm gonna break it down for you here. So you have to wear number 7.
Okay.
Play with the Chicago White Sox.
I'm gonna
You
go
gotta
ahead
have
and go.
a
My
right-handed
award.
batter, and then you got your name has to be Tim Anderson. Okay, so once you hit the bat, or not hit the bat, what am I doing? Hit the ball with the bat. You're gonna stare, okay? And you're
been
gonna look
drinking
at the ball for about
How many
3
have you
seconds.
had
3
tonight,
seconds. 3
Kasey?
seconds. 3 seconds. And then also what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab that bat, and there's 3 things you do. Okay, you grab the knob of it, like the barrel of it. You just chuck that thing, right? Okay. Or you grab the handle of it and kind of just like throw it. Or you turn your back, okay, as you're like trotting to first base. You turn your back and you just launch that
Back
thing.
to
Like
first base.
you just feel the ground ball freaking piss missile out of your hand straight to your own dugout, and then you like just clap. You're hyped. Everything's good and dandy. You're not touching the base
Oh, so
coach
when
because
you
of
were talking about-
coronavirus, like
Missiles, taters, tots, bombs, all that. You weren't
Nukes.
talking about the ball. You were talking about what you're doing with the bat
well, and the ball too.
and the ball. So you hit a piss missile, and
which
you
one is
freaking
the piss
tater
missile?
that thing.
Is the
The
piss
dugout, yeah.
missile? Is the ball the piss and the missile's the bat? I'm trying to really.
No,
solve
the
that
ball.
one.
It's all one motion. So like literally, so imagine Tim Anderson, hey, facing Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty throws him a freaking greaser down the middle, and Tim Anderson just turns on it, sends a piss missile into the stands, and he freaking just yanks his bat out of his hand, yeets that thing about 45 yards, almost hitting the White Sox dugout, and then
45
just
yards.
Like, yeah, it's. I don't make the rules here or the metrics. That's just how it happens. I don't know.
45 yards would be way past the dugout.
I mean, we should move on to the next award because no one's beating this award. That's Tim Anderson's
Hey,
award.
question: does Jose Bautista get an honorable mention for his bat flip? Because that's a
Yes, I will. I will give him an honorable mention for that freaking tater he hit against Texas. That freaking piss missile he sent into the third deck. And not only that, stood there, freaking stood there, stared at the pitcher, and then just yeeted that bat. Another like 42 yards, not quite 45, but 42 yards. I think that's why he lost. That was like a freaking punt, dude. That thing had like a 5-second hang time. Like my man, freaking Tyreek Hill got down there and caught that thing, and then stood there. Like that thing had some hang time.
Hell of a bat.
And then that freaking horn in Toronto. You know what I'm talking about? Whenever the Blue Jays hit a home run. Like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Like that thing was going forever. Like.
Kasey, if you could replace the home run competition with the bat flip competition at All-Star Weekend, would you do that?
Oh, okay, so I got 4 contestants out of right here, okay? You ready? Contestant number 1, Tim Anderson, Chicago White Sox, all right? You know my man Timmy's taking that home. Second, all right? We got Bryce Harper. That man, when he hits it, that man, he has a little showboat in him, you know. I'm not gonna lie. He has a little flair, little bit. My next man, Tatis. I feel like he hasn't uncorked it yet, but he's going to. I feel like my man Tatis is gonna beat Timmy Jr. You know. And lastly, Jose Bautista, the OG, the man, the myth, the legend, the freaking 5-second bat hang time after that piss missile against Texas. He later paid for it in Texas with Rough and Odor, but in that time.
You're telling me you
That
don't
was
want to
bad.
see Aaron Judge? Aaron Judge could toss the hell out of a bat if he wanted to toss a bat.
Yeah, but he won't.
If that
he
was his
won't.
objective, that little toothpick in his hand.
But it's not. It can't be an objective. It's just you know, like it's just like the flair. Of the
They
game.
have
It's
to
like
already
Who they are.
Okay.
All right. Casey, you want to keep going, or are we done?
No, that's it. That's literally that's Tim Anderson's award. Like, there's no one that you could say that changes my mind. It's literally Tim Anderson's award.
Kasey, I put a clip in the Discord for you to show you that Tatis has uncorked the bat flip. You just missed it.
Oh,
it is better, dare I say, than Tim.
Let me see. Oh, what? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna break this down for our viewers. Okay, so imagine, okay. All right, so he's sitting here, right? Okay, I'm gonna guess that it's probably like a 3-1 count. Okay, a 3-1 count. So he's just sitting there, right? This man hits an absolute piss missile, and then he just. Okay, so I'm gonna break it down here. So I'll pause it a second. He is like staring at it. Okay, let's see. It's like 1. I mean, I rate that stare like a 2. Like he's gotta own it. You know, like if you just uncorked a nuke, like you gotta own that. But then he comes back with this. Okay, double hand. Imagine 2 hands on a baseball bat. Yeets it, like not even just like. Let's go with 2 hands. Like this man like throws it aggressively. Then he stares, and then he breaks out the walk while still staring. This man is halfway down the line before he even. It finally leaves because that thing was just a freaking nuke to the moon, like you thought the Soviets would send that out there. Turns around, addresses the crowd and his teammates, fist pump, jumping around.
Straight.
That's a freaking tater. That's a freaking tater.
Nice.
Look at him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps, and then just erupts. But Timmy.
That was an eruption, bro.
But Tim still got it. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm just saying that puts up some tough competition right there.
That does. Like that. I mean,
and he sent that bat to the moon, dude.
Yeah, he does.
That thing straight up. Surprised that didn't come down and hit him while he's walking.
Yeah, I don't know even if I even saw it land on the.
Literally.
You want to know how I made Bryce Harper into this competition too, or in that remember that tussle him and Hunter Strickland got when he had that helmet?
Uh-huh.
Dude, that helmet came out sideways. That thing like had some heat on it. Like if you would have got that off and that might have killed Hunter Strickland. I mean. That was a piss missile out of his hand. Like that was, man, I was sweating for Hunter. Timmy, you got your own award now, my guy. Make me proud.
All right. Anyone else got any comments on that?
I think Kasey took most of it for me.
Yeah. I feel like he covered. With it being the Tim Anderson Award, I don't think there's much more we could say about Tim Anderson.
That was a beautiful thing I just witnessed.
That was if he runs for political.
I did like the play-by-play.
If he runs political office, I think you should need to be his campaign manager. You have, I don't know if it's.
I literally am Tim Anderson's ultimate hype man.
If he signs,
actually got my Dansby Boston exception. If he would say to the Mariners, don't even stop. Don't even tease. Don't even play. Don't even play like that.
Tim Anderson over Ken Griffey if the Mariners sign him.
Oh, don't you dare put me in that situation. Don't you dare.
What about
you
Ichiro?
devil?
Is he over Ichiro?
Okay. Unofficially, if Tim Anderson
unofficially.
Unofficially, if he were to sign with the Mariners, it goes Griffey,
officially,
King Felix, Timmy, Kano Ichiro.
Over Ichiro.
Wow. He's just standing behind himself.
Ichiro was kind of
disrespect.
All-time hit leader.
That is some disrespect.
We got another breakdown here. Let's check this out.
This is not necessarily bat flip, but it's like one of the best celebrations you'll ever see at a home run.
The disrespect. Okay, so imagine this, okay?
My gosh.
Imagine Pete's pitching, right? Pete's about to throw a freaking cheeseburger to freaking Jrob over here. Down the middle. Oh, a freaking pitch missile. Jrob goes down to one knee. This ball is nuked. Like,
he's down on one knee. He lights a campfire. Chilling there, dude. He spent the night there.
If they let this happen in the league, you know how sick that would be? Oh,
I'm pretty sure that batter just made that pitcher his bitch. Like, I think that's the official rule. Like, I'm no scientist and like I don't know the rules, but like if you get taken yard that hard and like that deep, and then he just does that, pulls that one knee, puts his arm on the bat, and just kind of watches it, like and then just like
flex. He straight up camped, lit a fire, made some s'mores, and then left.
Doesn't that he play for the
Stan
Twins?
does that this year?
Yes. So
Can he win the Tim Anderson Award over Tim Anderson?
No.
Wow. Okay.
well, so it sounds like the Tim Anderson Award is given to Tim Anderson. We're just deciding who the runner-up is. It's like our AL MVP discussion.
Second place. Okay. It's like the Mike Trout of the MVP.
But for the listeners out there, Kasey was breaking down Willens Astudillo. He is on the Minnesota Twins, and he has some of the best moments you'll ever see on a diamond. Highly recommend going and checking out some highlights from him. He's a awesome guy. Love this. I love him. Love him to death.
He's
Kasey.
must-watch TV in baseball.
He absolutely is.
Kasey, final question on your award. When Tim Anderson retires, does the Tim Anderson Award end, or is it still eligible for other non-Tim Anderson players to finally win?
Or does he flip the trophy to the?
Does he flip the trophy?
So what happens was
and it's over.
when he plays like in men's league softball games or like men's league baseball games, like Jason Worth, the award just follows him around.
The MVP draft. Okay.
Yeah,
So it's not even an MLB award.
No, it is.
just-
No, it is.
A
It is.
Tim Anderson specific, whatever he's doing in life award.
No, like it's gonna be an MLB award still, but like there's no one's gonna do it like Tim Anderson does it. So I mean, it's just gonna keep giving it. Like by default, you give it to Tim Anderson.
Okay.
It's like if Roberto Clemente was still alive and he was doing his thing, he'd get the award every year.
Okay.
Move on from that. Comments, Kasey.
You have all been blessed.
Yeah,
I already know the title of this episode. Freaking piss missile.
Piss missiles with the boys.
All right, my award. I'm actually going along. I had the
You
same
should have
thought
gone before
process.
Kasey, by the way, because there's no way this lives
Yeah.
up to the hype.
Hey, that's all right. I'll live with that. Same direction as Jake went. This is not like an award. It's not like a good thing. It's more the negative side. I don't even call it an award. I call it the Bass Certificate. That's how bad this is. Ass is close, or it's got the word ass in it, so that's what we're going for. We're going for ass, negative. So it's the Bass Certificate because it's not even worthy to be called an award. But really what this is, it's a team certificate, so it's not player, it's for a team. But it's not one you want. Obviously, Bass equals ass. And then this certificate...
Why bass? Why not just the ass certificate?
Because bass are like bottom feeders. You go fishing, bass are on the bottom of the lake.
Oh.
Bottom feeders. Ass equals ass, bro. So that's why I went with that. And it just rhymes. It's got the word ass in it. It just, it's whatever. But
Maybe we'll call it Bass equals ass. Maybe that's the episode. Piss missile. Bass equals ass.
Oh, we should have spread these out. So many episode titles.
Yeah. We'll just cut at Kasey's and this will be part 2.
This certificate goes to the worst team in the league. And so behind this...
Like just record-wise?
Record-wise. Whoever has the worst record in the league, it's the Bass equals ass certificate. And then, so we can go a couple different ways, and maybe, we can have a discussion about this, but something I was thinking is like, maybe if you get this certificate 2 years in a row, and you get like penalized with draft picks, or like it has like actual consequences to it, because and I think actually something like this, it would never happen in baseball, but I think it actually could be good, because then it would create competition at the bottom of the standings. I mean, they're not going to fight for the same thing. Like, they're not going to be fighting for first place or a playoff spot, but they're fighting not to be last. They don't get like punished or whatever for being bad. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, there's some competition though, for sure.
Yeah, the San Diego Padres have a lot of Bass trophies in their history.
Yeah, I might have to say this discussion out, boys. My organization has never been anywhere near that.
I feel personally attacked by this award.
What I was gonna actually
You have the
say,
most
and I
winning
decided
franchise
against
in one season.
a Kasey's award. This would actually give Kasey's team to get another award.
That's,
So
Oh, it's for you. It's a handout.
I think it's
It comes
really
with the number one
interesting
draft pick.
Shout out Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, especially too if you like. It's interesting because that's just like a team building strategy in every league there is. Like, that's what the Astros did. That's the thing the Cubs did. Like,
Nationals.
tanking to build up, your draft capital. So
I don't
like
think
you're just
baseball's
taking
as
away.
bad, though.
You're taking. I mean, more teams are doing it nowadays. I think.
Yeah,
it's like why
agree.
the Orioles
Yeah.
went. The Orioles got rid of like anybody good on their roster. To just be like, we're going to be as bad as we can, so we can maybe in a few years actually compete with the beasts in our division. So I think it's
the Red
becoming
Sox.
more of a thing. No, definitely not.
Right, the Blue Jays.
Oh, the Rays. Oh, the Blue Jays. Either of those, yeah. There's no other team in that division that's worth even saying their name.
But I agree
so.
with Pete. I think J-Rob's point is true, but I think Pete's correct then that baseball is starting to wisen up and like realizes like, oh, like if we're gonna lose, let's freaking lose. And I think basketball has already been on that train, but like those picks have like so much more meaning and they're way more impactful than like the baseball number one overall pick. Like there's just so much unknown on their path to the big leagues for a lot of players. I think like the two craziest like back-to-back like first overall picks that we've had, and I think in my lifetime that I know of, was the Nationals. They got like Bryce Harper and Strasburg, like back to back. Like that's hitting the money twice. You two like generational talents at the time of drafts. Like these guys,
and that got right to the big leagues too.
Very quick, yeah. They're very, very fortunate, I feel like, for them. So the Bass with the penalization, I was gonna make a joke. I'll be like, yeah, here's a trophy. You get the number one overall pick. It's not bad, but if there's that penalty, that would be funny to see. Like if a team then knows, like going into the last 2 weeks, they're like, okay, we won't get the Bass trophy anymore, so we can now lose the rest of the time. And like there's like a quick tank from a bunch of teams, to try to get the number 2 pick. But then that would ruin like competitiveness. So like if they faced like a playoff team, that would be weird.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it has
different variables.
Yeah, the ups and downs of it. I think it could, like, again, hypothetically, if they did put it in place, if there was that penalty, say like if you did get the Bass equals ass certificate, then you get like the 4th pick or something. If you're the worst, you don't get 1, 2, or 3. You drop the 4. Then obviously who's the second worst gets the 1st pick, 3rd worst gets 2nd, 4th worst gets 3rd, and then that. Or something like that. I don't know the specifics, but something along those lines. But if there was that, though, I think it would almost help kind of in a season to make it a little bit more competitive, because there wouldn't be teams like just throwing away all their players at the trade deadline because they wouldn't want to finish last.
No, this is the best idea. You have the bottom 4 play a playoff for the number 1 overall pick.
Ooh. like a tournament?
Yeah. It's like, all right, here you go. Now you have to figure out who gets the number 1 pick. Go at it. So they'll like want to be good enough to beat the bottom 4.
Want to be in the bottom 4, but like you want to be 4th best.
Yeah.
Or 4th worst.
Can you imagine you like rest your best player for the last week of the real season to have him fully healthy in the Bass equals ass playoffs?
Oh my gosh.
I feel like you could actually get people to watch those games too.
That would be so
they
funny.
Would 100%.
He's such a meme.
There'd be 100% competitive.
We might see that
they
with the
all
NBA
want
this
the
year.
number 1 seed.
The NBA is talking about sending all their ass teams to Chicago in the second bubble.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see if they put stakes on it or something. But it would be kind of funny just to...
Does anybody think that it would be, as far as like the team this year, anybody outside of the Orioles, or does somebody else think someone else would get the Bass Trophy or award?
If you beat out the Orioles for it, you need to get their pick too. You need to get the number 1 draft pick and the number 2 draft pick. If you can somehow be worse than the Orioles, you get both. I think that's what the reward should be.
I don't know. Detroit is pretty bad.
Kasey?
And I could see the Cardinals.
Sorry, I'm breaking out to Anderson swing.
Better watch him.
Is he bat flipping on the Bass team?
No. I'd say the Royals are a wild card in that Bass.
So I'm looking at over-unders, and ours at 20.5.
Yeah.
The next lowest is Detroit at 21.5. So Detroit is close. Who did you say, Kasey?
The Royals.
The Royals. They're at 24.5. Same with
I think Pittsburgh might be
the
there.
Blue Jays.
What's Miami at?
They're, I think, 20. Oh, they might have been 24. 24, 26. That's a spread, but let's see. Giants are at 25.
And then
Pirates are at 25.
Yeah, they're not posing no more.
Oh, then Miami's at 24 as well. The Cardinals lost Jordan Hicks. Sluts.
Yep,
Anyways.
he's out.
But I don't know. I just thought of that. I feel like I do like that idea at like okay, so if they did that 4-team tournament, who wins the Bass equals Ass award? Whoever comes in fourth? Whoever loses both games?
Lose the tournament.
No, the Bass equals Ass should be like the number one. That's like the number one pick. The MLB commissioner has to go up, and with the reigning Bass equals Ass trophy winners, the Baltimore Orioles will select. Get the number 1 overall pick.
That would be funny. Yeah. I mean, I think that'd be dope. That'd be a good one. Just, I don't know. To give more competition to the bottom.
Yeah.
I think that's what... I don't know. I guess like for Baltimore, I mean, they're going to suck all year. They're not going to have a ton of fans at their game. Well, I mean, they can't this year, but just like last year, don't have a ton of fans at their games or whatever. Or fans don't have much to look forward to because they don't necessarily have anything in the majors at least next couple of years. But at least at the end of the year, they have something to look forward to. They have their mini 2-game 4-team tournament. Like, do you play one game each? Like, is it wild card style? You play one game, you win, you lose, you go to the championship, or you go for third
Yeah,
place
absolutely.
game?
Highest stakes possible.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That would be epic.
Yep. That'd be pretty funny.
I don't know. Anybody got any other comments on that?
Nobody got another breakdown for you if you want to hear that one.
No, not really, actually. It is with it, Kasey.
Kasey, maybe you can give us the breakdown to open up next episode. Give a little tease for the viewers.
They want to know this breakdown, though.
The fans will definitely be coming back for that.
They want to know that breakdown. I know they're itching to hear this breakdown.
They'll have to just tune in next time, man.
Yeah, I'm probably going to break down if you give another one. So.
You can give us another piss missile, though, if you want, Kasey.
Another piss missile? All right, we're going to throw back. All right, so what was it? The 2012 playoffs against who was it? It was the Giants and the Braves. I believe Rick Ankiel was up to bat. Freaking just tater down the middle, and Rick Ankiel turns on it and pisses all over it. Sends him a Covey Cove. Oh man, what a sweet swing! He just made that pitcher his bitch. He was running the bases. Rick Ankiel, the timeless legend. I think that's actually his last season, though. I'm not entirely sure, but
I would not call him a legend.
You look it up. Just look up Rick Ankiel homer against the Giants on YouTube, and it is a legendary bomb. I wish I could find it, but
I can find it. I do. That's one of my favorite home runs of all time, too. Actually.
Here, if you want to send it to Discord, I could break it down for our viewers.
we talked about the breakdowns. No more. Rick Ankiel, he could have won that.
Then maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Could have won.
I don't know. With that piss missile, he might have won Tim Anderson. If he would have flipped that bat, he might have had the
my
one.
God.
He could have win.
Next week
Was
might
it
be a
3-1?
breakdown exclusive pod. Only breakdowns, the whole pod.
Maybe we'll have a special episode, just Kasey, Thursday, breaking
All right,
down.
here it is.
Breaking down piss missiles, baby.
Let's throw it back. All right, let's see what we got going on here. 52 on the Giants. 52 on the Giants. Man, oh, they got the BlackBerry symbol in the background. Oh, this is vintage. Rick Ankiel staring down. Buster Posey is about to shit himself because he's just scared because Rick Ankiel's about to take him a yard. He's calling for the signs. He wants a fastball inside. Well, guess what? You don't throw a fastball inside on Rick Ankiel. 52 just winding up. Delivers. Oh! Full extension. Absolutely pissed all over it. It's a freaking taut. It is flying. Oh, look at this. If you break it down about 4 seconds, that's a mini Tim Anderson bat flip. He flipped it. It was a I'd rate it like a Pete bat flip, like in softball when Pete makes contact with anything, he just flips the bat like he just did something cool. Flips it a little bit, little flip, points up. That thing, it's going to about, it's probably on its way to San Jose, maybe Oakland in that bay. Lands in McCovey Cove. Brian McCann's pumped. Rick Ankiel is livid with emotion, rounding those bases. The Braves dugout's going absolutely bananas. Jason Hayward's in there just wrecking havoc. Buster Posey's just like, shit, I should have called for something.
Jrob, give us the outro. I'll turn Kasey down a little bit, but everyone will hear his breakdown while I give the outro. Keep going, Kasey.
Oh, the Giants dugout.
All right, guys. Appreciate you coming by, checking out our podcast, Shaggin Balls.
Dugout.
If you guys want to hit us up on our email, shagginballspodcast@gmail.com, or going on the street.
Send me your piss missiles. I want to see your piss missiles.
8 or 10, 11 weeks
Don't
of
say
no
that
emails.
on the internet, Kasey. You do not want people to send you piss missiles. That's not going to go out you think it is.
So hit us up with some emails or check us out on any of our other platforms. We appreciate you guys checking us out tonight. If you want to hear more about piss missiles, we're talking about home runs, nothing else. Check us out next week. Next Monday, we're going to be streaming on Twitch, or you can find us on Spotify, Apple Music. But I'm Shaggin Balls. Thanks for checking us out, guys.
Baseball next week. Next week?
Next week. Oh, hell yeah.